And we should be live. We're live. What's going on, D-Bags? Hope you guys are doing well. We're back here again with another episode, the 216th episode of the dtalks podcast, to be exact. My name is Darren. Rita. Feel free to connect with me at any of the links down below. And if you're new here, you enjoy music, podcasts, hooping videos, or comedy, do consider subscribing. We've got a whole lot of that going on around here. When you do subscribe, leave a like or a super chat and hang out with us in the live chat like you're going to do tonight. It helps us share conversations and laughs with more people. So do consider doing that. We recently just unlocked the feature to be even able to accept super chats. But you definitely should do that. It helps the channel out a ton, and it helps YouTube notice that we're actually doing stuff that's like worth noticing, I guess, and it shares it to more people. So with that stuff out of the way, though, before I can introduce you guys to my guest today, I got to talk to you a little bit about grooming because you're doing it wrong, okay? We've all been there before. You waited a few weeks too many, I should say, to trim the hedges, and now the cutesy little garden you had down there has turned into a bit of a sprawling rainforest, and even worse, it's date night. So things might get interesting, okay? So what do? You reach for that cheap razor, maybe you got from a Walmart or a Kmart, even if it's been that long for you. I don't know what you're rocking. And you grab that, you start going to town. You realize quickly that's a dangerous game that you're playing, okay? You don't got to do that anymore. You got to go nuts. Go Nuts is a first of its kind, brand new personal groomer. Well, look at this guy right here. This has been on my nuts, okay? Don't touch this. I'm glad you didn't. Some people reach for it. It looks cool, but I have to stop leaving this on the desk. It's not safe. But that's what it looks like there, and it works phenomenally. It's got a patented design. It's not going to leave you with the same gashes and rashes that other companies swear that they're going to protect you from, but they use the same technology and leave you with the same cuts and nicks. So what are you waiting for? Go to thegonuts.com and get yours today. Or you can click the link in the description, use the code RITA47 to save a little bit of money and get your grooming done right and go nuts. Now, with all that good stuff out of the way, I'm pumped to be kicking it with my homie this week. He's one of the greatest servers the game has ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Let's give a wet detox welcome to Miles. He's in the building.
Dude?
You're here, bro.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Dude, we made it. We finally made this happen.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
You're here. I mentioned that you're one of the best servers in the industry. You know, serving that as long as you've been, though, comes with a price.
Too long sometimes, yeah.
Comes with a price. So what is I was told to ask you this by some people close to you. What is a server's daily routine? What's your morning routine as a server?
Morning routine? I mean, I don't know, man. I guess it kind of depends on, like, the day before, especially as a server because you live such a sporadic lifestyle. I feel like being up late happens a lot.
Yeah.
So I guess it kind of depends on, like, when you actually get your day started as a server. I mean, I'm not typically an opening server, so my days start a little bit later. Like
when do you
today.
wake up, you think, usually?
Dog, on average, like 1 p.m.
1 p.m., you're rolling out of bed. Hell yeah.
At 1 p.m., I'm rolling out of bed. Like, sometimes I'll get up a little early if I set an alarm, but snooze that shit.
That's what I feel like a lot of people, like, so many people are, like, work in the service industry, and I think a lot of people that don't even understand that it's like, if you close, right? You get done at midnight, maybe 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And then let's say you want to go do something after.
Correct.
Or even if you just go home, you're up for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Everyone has to have that kind of, like, wind down mode.
You need that
like,
decompression.
To decompress. Especially, I mean, serving's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
And, like, the decompression afterward, just getting home and just chilling on the fucking couch for an hour is so just, like, needed.
Sometimes I used to, I walk to work now, but I used to, when I would drive to work, when I would get home from bartending, it'd be like 2 a.m, I would just sit in my car for like 20 minutes. I got home, I'm just in the driveway, just sitting there like, oh,
yeah, bro.
I just did that shit.
Sometimes
bro.
just the silence in your car is fucking necessary.
Yeah, dude, it's all you need sometimes. But I mentioned, you've been serving for a while, so I gotta know, you've been in the service industry, doing it all, a little bit of serving, a little bit of bartending, managing, all of it. Bartending or serving, what's better, or pros and cons of each, I guess?
Oh man, I feel like I was saying earlier, like, bartending is always a preference for those of us that actually get into bartending. Nobody wants to serve tables.
Why do you think? What do you think?
I feel like it's a little bit more of like a chilled, laid back setting of like the service industry versus like serving families. It's a little more high strung.
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely a lot more running around when you're serving on the floor, taking care of 14 tables.
Yeah.
Bartending is a little bit more of a, I feel like it's a little more fun,
Yeah, I think the stakes are higher when you're serving,
absolutely.
and you control less as a server.
At least as a bartender, I mean, like, you're in control of making drinks for people and like cranking out tickets as fast as you can, and it kind of controls the amount of money you're making. But when you're serving, dude, it's like if your bartender's ass and the kitchen is ass, then it's,
then it's over, you know?
I make the joke at my tables so many times with like my food's taking too long, and I'll be like, bro, like the kitchen never wants to see me succeed.
Yeah, they don't want to see
so,
me
like,
win,
if it was
bro.
up to me, man, I'll be fucking back there cooking your pasta, but I'm just out here fucking bringing you drinks from the bar.
Yeah, dude. Well, it is higher stakes, I think, too, because like if you think of like the commitment from the consumer standpoint, to go into a restaurant and like sit down with my family was like way bigger of a decision than it was for like me and the homie to just go sit at the bar for a little bit. Like that's so like we're so much more chill than like if I had to get the kids in the car and we got to get the car, tie them into the car seat. We got to ask for a high chair.
Oh yeah.
We got to make sure everyone got to get ready. Like there's a lot going on. So when they're there, they're already pissed.
And it's nice at the bar. I mean, you're flipping bar guests so fast. People come in, they get a couple drinks, maybe an app, and they're gone. It's rarely ever that people will sit at the bar and eat like a whole full meal. But you'll have a family of 7 that'll come in, and they'll be like, we only have 45 minutes to get in and get out.
Yeah.
You can just, no.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing, too. Especially bigger tables and those ticket times start getting up there. It's like, I don't know. Then you got to spend, if these people aren't pleasant, you got to spend even more time with them than you would like to, and it just it don't go well.
Honestly, I can be unpleasant.
Yeah. What's a pet peeve of yours as a server? What's something, because you know people, there's always like memes of like that like bartenders hate making mojitos or like what's something as a server that like bothers you? As
a server, okay, so I used to work at this restaurant and they had like a build your own sundae kind of thing where you you brought all the stuff out to them on a plate and it's like sprinkles and like chocolate syrup and whipped cream, all just like kinds of dumb shit.
Yeah.
And I would get so angry because it was always parties of kids. They would all of them. So it's like 8 kids are getting a build your own sundae, and then when it's time to like flip the table and there's just like sprinkles smashed into the carpet and like all over the table and stuff. Or I mean, one time I was walking past this table and this little girl, she's probably like 3. She didn't know any better, but she took all of the sugar packets open on the table and just dumped them all over the place. Dude. And she's there with her like grandparents, and I'm like, I'm getting my shit rocked in the morning, and I just like walk past with a towel and I just drop it on there. I was like, please.
Yeah, dude.
Please clean this.
There's nothing you can do, dude.
Oh man.
I feel like I was a pretty well behaved child in restaurants growing up. I was like kind of scared to do anything, but I will say I used to do shots of the half and half. I still did. The other day I went to a coffee shop with my friend and they had extra one.
I feel like you have to, bro. If you see them on the table, you kind of just have to.
I gotta do at least
flavored
one.
Ones,
Dude,
like
the hazelnut, bro. Yes. Hazelnut's insane.
Little French vanilla ones, bro.
Yeah, dude. That shit slaps.
That shit's so like nostalgic of being a kid and just like going to diners and shit with the little the little creamers on the table.
I'm gonna have to hit some up after this. That's what I'm gonna have to do. Find me a Denny's or something.
Denny's, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's, I don't know, I guess I'm trying to think of a pet peeve of myself for serving. It's always interesting, like when people, they'll like order something that's not a big deal.
Oh yeah.
And they'll be like, do you hate doing that?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, it's fine. And then it's like the thing that actually pisses you off, like people usually never have a problem ordering. Like they don't even conceive how it could be an issue.
No.
I'm trying to think something off the top of my head that used to piss me off. The bar I used to work at used to be like, it's a super like mixology heavy bar. So the people would come in and it was like on our menu, this thing called like Doctor's Choice. So people would come in and be like, oh, I want Doctor's Choice. And usually it says in the description, like you give the bartender like a liquor and then like a flavor and they'll just make you something.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And so like we would have to do that all the time. But people would just be like, oh, I want Doctor's Choice. And I'd be like, yeah? What do you want? Anything. I'm like, no, I'm not making something. This is a $12 drink so that you don't like it and give it back to me and want another one.
I mean, it gives you instructions, bro.
Yeah, it's literally telling you like you have to. And I always be like, well, what kind of liquor? You're like, well, why don't you surprise me? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pour water.
Yeah. I feel like that's like another pet peeve is like the menu like lays it out for you sometimes. And people just like don't take the time to read it. It drives me nuts when someone asks me what's the ingredients of something.
When they get mad too, like they ask it already mad.
Like, I don't know that it had this in there, but the menu told you it did.
Or sometimes I'll be like people will come into a restaurant and I would go up to them and be like, hey, you guys looking to grab a table or what's up?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, what? And I'm like, well, how many do you have? And they're just like offended that I'm like, well, I'm just trying to help you get to the table faster, dog. So what is it? Like people, I don't know what it is. The server to like regular human being dynamic just changes everything.
I feel like I've always said that people in the service industry, especially like servers and bartenders, kind of like get shit a little bit more, like social cues and just like how to be a fucking human. Like it drives me nuts. And I could go on for hours about shit like this. Like, like people coming into a restaurant and standing in the middle of the dining room and looking around because they came in through a side door. And I'm like, don't you think that like any restaurant anywhere that you go to, you will go to the front of the restaurant? Where any host stand is?
Or like ask anybody with a working shirt on. Like, dude, they just stand there.
Working a day. Like we just walk past you. Like.
Yeah, dude. No, it is weird. Have you ever worked like outside of the service industry?
I've done like a few, dude. Yeah, I've had a lot of weird odd jobs.
Isn't it? It's so different, dude.
Oh, different.
Have you ever worked retail?
I have, yeah.
Where'd you work retail?
I worked at Target.
Dude, same, bro. Yeah. Shit, you got that Target trauma, bro. Yeah, dude. I working at Target was different. Yeah. Very different than working in the industry, bro.
Target. I worked at Walmart for a little bit. But
oh shit, bro. You was.
Yeah.
That's the dark side right there.
Dude, I worked at just a lot of random fucking places, dude.
How long do you have you worked at like places like that? Do you
Not long, dude. No? I realized that I just suck at that shit.
Yeah, dude. What'd they have you do when you were at Target? What'd they have you do?
Dude, just like a floor person.
You were pushing vehicles? Yeah. Shit, bro. That was me, bro.
Dude. I mean, the service industry is the only shit that's ever like stuck, and I liked it. I mean, I don't want to do it forever, but
It is like we were joking off air that it is addictive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's hard to get out of for sure.
It's like such good money.
And I feel like when you feel like you're about to get out of it, or you go and you have like a streak of like a week of just bad shit days where you don't make any money, and then like you get one good shift, and then it's like you make $700, and you're like, this is why I do this.
Yeah, you're like, this is why I'm in it for. It makes all the rest of that shit worth it. Dude. Yeah. It is. It's wild, the ups and downs. We've been kind of throwing in the word trauma a little bit here and there.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to the service industry specifically.
Hell yeah. Dude.
Okay, you used to you've worked at several restaurants, right?
Yeah.
But you were at one for quite a while, and you said that this one specifically has traumatized you quite a bit.
It's funny. I think about it too. This restaurant that I worked at, this is actually my first service industry job that I ever had. I started there when I was 18. Like
shit.
Like
what were you doing when you
started? Dishwashing. Shit. I got hired as a dishwasher, and it's funny because at the time my mom, she used to date the sous chef.
Oh, okay. So you got that in.
Like one day I was just like, and just sitting at home, and I was like, I was honestly sitting at home, and I was like smoking, and he called me and was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just chilling here. Like, why? What's up? And he's like, do you want to come interview? I'll pay you $9.50 to wash some dishes. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
So I like hopped on my bus, got on the way down there, and then I came in, and he didn't even interview me. He was like, all right, this is our dish pit. This is how you work the machine. This is an apron. Just like get to it. And
start washing dishes.
Start washing dishes. And I started washing dishes.
Yeah.
And I kind of like moved up through there in a little bit. I was a line cook. I was working our pizza station for a while. I was like cooking on the grill, frying food and shit.
Damn.
And
you started from the bottom.
Yeah, dude,
now
from the bottom, and they really liked me in the kitchen. And I remember one day I just had like a shit day, and they cut my hours there. I was a full time to only working like 17 hours, and one of my friends who was serving, it was like a Saturday double, and she was like, I made $600 today, and I told my GM, I'm like, I need to do that, or I'm gonna quit. And he was like, I'll never let you serve in my restaurant.
What?
But then he went on vacation the next week, so the manager who wrote the schedule for like training servers and shit, like she put me on the schedule, and when he came back he was pissed.
Damn.
So mad. And I'm gonna be honest, dude, I sucked as a server when I first started. It was horrible.
What's the worst mistake you ever made as a server?
Man, I don't even know, because I mean I feel like really bad mistakes would be like serving someone food that they're allergic to.
Yeah.
But like I've never done anything like that. I mean, I've forgotten to like ring people's food in. I've spilled a couple drinks on some people. Not on purpose, like, obviously, but
I always get that. This has happened to me many times where, like, it'll be like some extra little thing that they want. Like, oh, could we get some extra this or some extra that? And like, you'll go and you're doing one of your other tables, and then like you like lock eyes with somebody at that table like 20 minutes later, and you're like, what am I forgetting?
Dude.
And you're like, oh shit. And you just like beeline. You're like, here's that for you. Just got tied up with some others. I was on my way the whole time.
It's always because I'll be walking the floor and scanning my tables or my bar guests, and I'll like look at one specific person. I'm like, yep, they needed something.
Yep, you're like, I don't know what it is, but just let me look at you one more time and I'll figure it out, I swear. It's weird, man.
Nothing's more embarrassing than when they have to like come and be like, is that coming?
Yeah. Do you get pissed when like people come up to you and they're like with the check. Like they're like,
oh,
hey, like
yeah,
like they're like even if you like just set it down,
yeah,
and they're like they come to you like 5 minutes later, not even, and they're like, hey, we got to get out of here. It's like
I could see, and like the worst part about that, and I'm sure a lot of people can like relate to it in the industry. So like, there are more good servers and good bartenders in the world than there are bad servers and bad bartenders, and almost everyone was literally just at that table.
Yeah.
Almost 9 times out of 10, they were just at that table, not even 5 minutes ago, asking if they needed anything, and that's their opportunity to close out or do whatever they need to do. But like, it shouldn't drive me nuts as much as it does, dude. But if I'm at the POS or if I'm like already in the middle of doing something for another table and
you come up to me,
the guest just like comes to like look for me to tell me that they're ready to close out, like, or I'm already on their way to them, like I'm literally coming to you right now.
yeah, exactly.
That happens so often, dude.
Yeah, it's so awkward. It is weird too, man. I feel like it's such a dance that you play sometimes with certain tables or guests in a bar or a restaurant, because like you'll be like, are you good? Like, you guys good over here? Like, what? And like some people get like weird, like they don't want you to ask.
Oh yeah.
But then like you'll ask once, maybe.
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes go by. You come back like, hey, do you guys need anything? Da, da, da. And they're like, no, we're all good. And they're like kind of shooing you away.
Yeah.
And then like then you just leave them. You let them chill. And then all of a sudden you start getting this stink eye from one of them. And you're like, and you come over and they're like, everything all good? Yeah, we're ready. We've been ready to order.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you sent me away every time I came over here. Like, I didn't know you wanted to add a dessert. I thought we were done.
Real.
You know? So it can be weird sometimes.
It's really hard to like feel it out or like read the room, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like a mental game
and
you're playing.
Like some tables want you to like sit there and hang out with them. And like some tables don't even want to see you at all.
Some people don't want to talk to you.
I usually try to be good at like reading the vibe when I get there, and sometimes it gets a little awkward if I'm standing there. If I have a rule that if I ask them if they need anything, and if they don't say anything or they're just looking at the menu longer than 30 seconds, I just walk away.
That's fair. That's shit.
You get a couple minutes, someone come back.
You just gotta set the tone.
Sometimes I'm just too busy to stand there also.
Yeah, that's true. It's weird. Sometimes you get those people that are real quiet, don't want to talk to you, don't want to ask any questions, nothing. And then they leave you a good tip. Like, you just don't even talk to this person.
Yeah.
You were literally just like a delivery guy for them, basically.
We get a couple of those people at the job that we work at now that just come in, and I feel like I know them enough that when they come in, I'm just like, this guy comes in, he sucks down Diet Cokes like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I give him into the big Mug Club glasses because I know he's going to just chug them as fast as he can.
Yeah.
And, like, he just comes in, reads his book, eats his salad, and then leaves.
That's wild, dude.
Tips 25% always, but he just, like, doesn't say anything.
Hell yeah. That's fire, though. Yeah. What's, as a server, what would it take for you to not tip 20% when you go out to eat?
Oh, man.
Because I feel like it takes a lot for me as someone who works in the service industry.
And, like, I can't even imagine myself not even tipping 25%. Like, that's just, I mean, to not tip 20%, I feel like they would have to...
Like assaulted you, maybe?
Yeah.
That's like it, dude. Like, I'm trying to think.
If I was getting some, like, fajitas and you dropped, like, a hot skillet on me or something, I'd be like, I mean... It's not their fault though.
Yeah, like I got the.
But if they were just like deliberately just like being a shitty server, or if I saw they were being shitty, I could see where it would be warranted to not.
Yeah.
Tip 20. I would tip them 18 though.
Yeah. That's the thing, dude. I don't think I have to like 20% is like you suck at your job. I'll still give you 20%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if you're like I don't know what you would have to do to me. Like maybe spit on me for me to not give you 20%.
Dude. I feel like anybody in the industry, it's like they're the same way. They never tip less than 25. You know what I mean? It's just it just doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah. What are for the average person who's not in the service industry? What do you think a golden rule is for tipping?
I feel like people. I mean, I guess it depends on like what age bracket you're in too, because I feel like a lot of people in like an older generation, they're like comfortable tipping about 15%, and they're like, "Yep, this is good."
Yeah, we're talking about the people that are cool.
But like people that are
in.
Bro, I feel like people right now. I mean, culture right now in our generation is like such a big like drinking and going out, and I mean going out to eat and stuff, and I feel like they're just so used to tipping appropriately. 20% seems like it's pretty standard. I mean,
yeah, I think you got to tip 20%. Dude.
Yeah.
If the service is on par, like if everyone just does their job, and even if food, I hate to when like if food comes out wrong or something, and they're like, oh, I'm not tipping 20% now. It's like, did they fix it for you? Yeah. So
Yeah.
They did their job. Like, the job,
yeah.
if there was a mistake and they corrected it, that's their job. So they did their job. So why are you not paying them?
And I mean, most times, even when, like, if something does get, like, messed up, it's almost always going to get fixed right away. And they're going to eat it. You know what I mean? It's like they're still enjoying the food that they wanted.
So my dad owned a pizza restaurant when we were growing up for a little while. And we had this dude one time ordered an Italian beef sandwich. Okay? Eats half it. We were like, this was a weird point in time where the business had like moved, where we were like partnered with like a bar. We were like in a bar type thing. So this guy got a beef. He went, sat at the bar, and he's eating his beef. It's like an hour and a half later, and me and my buddy are working. And this guy comes back with this half-eaten beef. And he's like, this is cold.
Bro,
I want another one. And we're like, no. And he's like, well, I know Mike. And I'm like, my dad's name is Mike. He's like, well, I know Mike. I'm like, yeah, I know him too. And I was like, I don't think fucking Mike's gonna give you enough free beef because this one's been sitting out for an hour and a half.
What?
Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just bizarre to me. But with the tipping thing, here's a rule I will say: if you are gonna round to an even dollar, that even dollar has to be more than 20%.
Oh, absolutely.
Because think about it. This is the thing, the entitlement that pisses me off, bro. People will be sitting there, they're like, oh man, it's whatever the total is, it's 42 point whatever. It's like, they're like, I want a clean $45, and it's like, no. You don't get to just be, oh, it's convenient for me. It'll look nicer on my bank statement for it to be clean. Okay, that's fine. Then round up, bro. Yeah. What are you doing?
That's just so stupid.
That shit bothers me. Like, if you're gonna go to an even dollar amount, it has to be at least 20%.
Higher, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It can't be lower than 20. You can't go custom tip.
It's so shitty. It's always something dumb, like it'll be like 18.9%.
Yeah, and you're like, stupid. Dude, like, what the fuck? Just so you can have the clean dollar amount? Like, you couldn't oh god, yeah. That shit bothers me. What's the biggest tip you've ever gotten?
Man. Okay.
And how'd you get it?
Well, by myself. By myself, actually, when I just started working at the brewery that I'm at now, because we have like our mug club membership or whatever it is, and at the time we had only had one lifetime member, and they pay like a stupid amount of money to be a lifetime member, but they just could be part of the club forever, and there's like perks that come with it or whatever. But the guy had come in, and it was one of my first bartending shifts at the brewery. And the guy had came in and sat outside with his like wife at the time. Yeah. And they were super cool. And I was like, they were kind of like running me back and forth because I was busy inside. And they had the whole bar to themselves outside. But the dude had like a $48 bill, and he tipped me $350 at the end of it.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, dude was super chill. He was like a retired NYPD. And he just like lives a comfortable life, I guess, because he paid a dumb amount of money to be in the club.
There are good cops out there.
Cool,
there we
dude.
go.
He always comes in every once in a while. I don't really see him that often, but that was one time. I mean, I've worked a couple events that I've been tipped a dumb amount of money on. Yeah. I was on this buyout event last weekend that we had, dude, and we all just walked out with a dumb amount of money. It was just
it's a good feeling, dude.
Yeah.
I think the most I ever, like, on something, I mean, I've definitely gotten, I think, tipped a little bit more than this, but like, in one like stupid amount, this guy like wanted, it was a buyout event at the last place I worked at, and that bar closed, like the event was only till like 11. It was like a wedding, and it was the groom, so that was the only reason I did it, because like I there wasn't a manager there, and I was nervous to do it. But this guy was like, oh man, I'll give you $100 if you just let me, like, pour me one more shot of it. It was some cognac he wanted. I was like, give me one more shot of that, I'll give you an extra $100 on top of whatever it is. And I was like, I looked at the guy I was with, and then like, I don't know if the guy thought like we were debating it. It was just the look. He was like, I'll give each of you $100 extra. And I was like, yeah, we're pouring the one shot of cognac, you know, because the owner's still going to get paid on the one shot, you know, like we're going to take the fucking $200, bro. But yeah, so that feels pretty good.
Yeah, man. I feel like in the industry, because I've been in it for so long, that I've been tipped $100 bills pretty, like, quite often. I mean, working at like Rock Bottom, like that place, the clientele was honestly pretty shitty, but the clientele was pretty shitty, but I mean, being in the downtown area of Milwaukee, we got a lot of business people. Yeah. And the lunches there were just nuts, dude. And they had like it was on the river and stuff, right? Yeah. They had like a full service bar. The bar was really nice, like this big, massive, like granite bar top outside. Shit. And I mean, alone, like outside, it was like 8 different serving sections, and the bar top itself could seat 25 people. It was just
good food.
I mean, when I first started working there, the food was dank, and then just over the years, I've watched the place like slowly digress, and then COVID came around and just really put the fucking nail in the coffin.
Damn, dude.
And then it just kind of like and now it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it fizzled
It's
out.
not even there yet.
What's that like? Like, could you see the writing on the wall while you were working there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like when I first started serving and bartending, I did that for a bit. And then I started managing the place, and I was the manager there for a year. And then I stopped doing that, but I was still supervising. Like, I would run shifts if they needed me to do it and help out for them. But they started switching to being more of like a little bit more of a corporate style restaurant, and it kind of like stopped being about the guest satisfaction and more about the money for the
profits.
the
Maximize
profits.
it,
And then it just, like, the food quality just kind of went down.
Well, yeah, because then if they're trying to cut corners, and they're like, okay, we're giving them a half ounce of ranch instead of a full ounce. We're doing
a lot. And I mean,
all weird shit.
Over the years, I just saw the place just like slowly get worse and worse. And I actually got out before the place even closed down, which is really nice. I felt it coming.
Yeah, shit, bro.
But that was one of those places that I worked at that I said that, like, I would never quit. They would have to push me out, and I could just like feel it. And I ended up having to just get the fuck out of there.
Damn, bro, that's sad though in a way.
It was sad. I mean, I worked there for 8 years. It was like, dude, a long time. I mean,
you were almost a lifer, bro.
Yeah, I felt like I was gonna be. I thought that place was gonna be open forever.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. Dude, are you? When you leave a job, any job like that you've been at for a long time, it's got to be pretty sad.
Oh yeah,
emotional time.
It was sad. I mean, for
especially
the
if you enjoyed
time, it. Yes, I loved working there. I mean, to this day, I say that's one of the greatest jobs I ever had was working for that company. But
yeah,
they stopped caring about the employees. I mean, when like COVID happened, they terminated the whole company and only kept like their home office people there to like keep the corporate thing running. And after COVID happened and they like were reopening their restaurants, they tried to bring all their employees back. But because we were terminated, no one's like felt obligated to go back to work there. Yeah, of course. And everyone was collecting unemployment, so they're just like, no.
You fired us, bro. Like, no.
But I was working at another job at the time. Like, my other bar had reopened up, and they were like, you have to come back or we're going to report you to unemployment.
Oh,
and I'm
shit.
Like, all right, word. So I went back to work there, and I just wasn't making enough money, and I'm like, I could go back to rock bottom. Yeah. And I did go back to rock bottom. And
oh, God, then they reeled you back.
So I worked there for like another year. And then after that's when I finally had like left for good. And then, like a couple months later, the place just like went under and tanked. And now doesn't exist anymore.
Now it's gone. No, we can't have it. I never got to try it. I feel like half the people I've met through you have all worked there.
Dude. I mean, there's like,
so you guys got lifelong bonds, though, that you made.
Oh, yeah.
The service industry does that. It is a lot like going to war, you know?
Sure.
Like, you're veterans in that way, where it's like you leave a place.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys all have that shared experience where, like, you remember that Friday where everyone was getting fucked. You remember when something blew up. Like,
there's been several times, like, me and some of the coworkers we have now, I'll tell them, like, if we ever left to go to a different restaurant or, like, another job that was just worth it or, like, where we'd make good money and we all trust each other as employees and we're like, you have to bring each other with. And as soon as I started working at this other place, it's just I brought one and then they all just started coming.
Yeah. You recruited them like that. You told me once that there was so this place was on the river.
Yes.
And that led to some water issues sometimes.
Oh, bro. Yeah.
And I just don't think I don't think people understand that this is not real.
No, this is not real. This is something that just when it happened, it was such a shock when it happened. And I didn't believe it at first, but okay, so we were working an event, right? This is like a formal for like Marquette or something.
Hell yeah.
And so they're in our event space downstairs, and the capacity was like 250 people. Okay. So I'm behind the bar, me and my two friends, and then one of the girls comes up to the bar top, and she's like, "Hey, like I don't want to alarm you, but there's like water shooting out of the floor over in the back."
I don't want to alarm you, but
and
like
I'm like, that's gonna alarm me.
I'm
a little alarmed.
I'm gonna set the alarms off now.
And I was like, take me to the geyser. Where is it?
Yeah.
So we're like walking through the fucking thing, and there's all these like fucking Marquette kids just like standing around this hole in the floor, and the water is just like shooting up,
just straight up
right out of the floor, dude.
Damn.
And it was one of the years when like it rained really heavy in Milwaukee, so the rivers were just super flooded, just like the highest they've ever been. And the sub pumps in the bottom of the restaurant stopped working, and the water just started shooting through the floor.
Damn.
Dude. And the lady, one of the girls that was like in charge of the event, she's like, what are we supposed to do? And I'm like, well, obviously your event's over.
Yeah, like what do you want to do? You want to slip and slide on the cement down here?
Your event's over. Like I gotta ask everybody to leave.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't stop. Like the water just kept like rushing in until the basement floor. It was like a foot of water just walking through there.
You didn't have to clean that, did you?
No.
No.
Fuck no. But like 2 months before that, our event manager decided she wanted to like redo our floors in the basement. So like we all like helped them redo it. So we're like chipping up the old paint that was down there.
Yeah.
And then we helped them like lay the new paint and shit. But when this water came, it like was sitting on the floor for so long, it just peeled all the new paint.
Destroyed all of it, dude.
Ruined everything. Yeah.
That's not good for team morale.
Oh no, not good at all. Not good at all.
That's not good, dude. Holy shit, man. Yeah, that'll fuck up an event pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
What's the meanest thing someone's ever said to you while you were serving them?
Oh,
serving
man.
Your table? Or maybe have you ever gotten a negative review?
Because
you're pretty good now.
Yeah.
I feel like this is Miles's final form Frieza as a fucking server now.
I've definitely had a few bad reviews in my life. A little bit more earlier in my career.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays, if anybody has an issue with me like as a server, they're kind of a little bit more upfront about it.
Yeah,
I guess. I mean, maybe that's just like the type of clientele that we get at the restaurant.
I do hate that shit though. Like you kind of alluded to, I do hate the shit where like people pretend like it's totally fine. Like maybe you don't even know that anything is wrong.
Yeah.
And then like they leave and they leave you a terrible review.
Yeah.
This only happened once when my dad had his restaurant, and it was like I used to deliver. And I would be in the shop and still like help out if someone came in on the register or answer phones, whatever. And some lady like came in and there was a problem with her pizza that she'd gotten like an hour or so ago. And I don't know how it took her an hour to figure out there was a problem. But she brought it back. She was like, "Can I get something else?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Like we'll get that fit. It'll probably be like 20 minutes, so we're pretty busy. Like I'll try to throw it in quick with stuff." And she like was totally fine with me. Okay, cool. I give it to her. She leaves this review saying that like some snarky kid came to the counter, big chested. Mind you, I'm not a big guy. This is me in high school. I'm even smaller of a guy.
Yeah.
And she's like said that I was trying to intimidate her, and I'm like, what world? Like, are you schizophrenic? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, what world are you living in? But like, so what's the worst thing someone's ever said about you?
Man, I mean, not even that long ago. I think like a month ago, actually. This is one that just like really stuck out. And I mean, because like I'm usually getting bad reviews and shit, like whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever.
I have a lot of anxiety about it. I get scared. Like, I try my best not to.
I think back then, like I used to get nervous, and I think that's just the working at the corporate restaurants that I did a lot. Just they were really hard asses about that. Like you got a bad review, you're kind of just like you're fucking done. You know what I mean? You have limited chances.
Yeah.
But like now that I'm older, like I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I mean, I get like a lot of the times it's usually stuff that's not even in my control. A lot of the times you get a bad review. It's the food was bad. Like I could see if they're saying the service was slow, but is the service slow because the bar took a long time to make your drinks? You know what I mean? So it's like,
there's a lot of things that affect. It's a very broad statement.
So it's like there's only like so much that I can do. But a month ago I was serving this party, and I was actually at 2 tables, and both of my tables were waiting on calzones, and the one table that I had, it was a 5-top. And she like ordered like a kind of like a build your own calzone type of thing, and this other table ordered like a mushroom calzone. Yeah. So they bring out the food for my party of 13, and I see like everybody's kind of eating, and I'm like, they're gonna bring the calzone out for you in a second. Like I'll be right back. I went to go check on my other table because they dropped their food also. I get there and the girl's cutting into her calzone, and she was like, "This is wrong." She was like, "This is a mushroom calzone." She's like, "I didn't order this." I'm like, "You didn't order this. It was supposed to go to that other table over there." So I'm back, and I was gonna ask her if she wanted it remade. She said no because they had already been waiting a long time. And I was like, "I get it. Don't worry about it. Like, I'll get it taken off." Yeah. I go in and tell the kitchen. I'm like, "Hey, you guys fuck this up."
Yeah. What the fuck is going on? Yeah.
And I'm like, they don't want it remade, but I need the calzone for the other table. And they're like, "Got it. We'll make it." Yeah. So I'm doing my rounds on my floor because I had a lot of tables this night.
Yeah. It's not just those two.
And they bring out a calzone to that same table to the girl that didn't want the another calzone.
Yeah.
She cuts it open and it's another mushroom calzone.
Jesus Christ, dude. What the fuck are we doing?
I go back to my other table, bro. They never got a calzone. A calzone never hit the table.
No,
dude, all 13 of these people, they got up and took turns each telling me about how dumb I was and incompetent.
Really?
And this lady, she pulled me aside and she was like, "You're not very bright, are you?" And I was just like, "You know what?
She said it to you?
Yeah, I was like, "You know what? I'm not bright. You're right."
Jesus,
I was like, "I'm gonna go check on my other table," and I go over there, and they're all like, "Are you like stupid?" And I'm just like,
"Oh my!
What is this day?"
Damn, bro. I don't even know, dude. I've had servers be bad. Like I've had bad servers before.
Oh yeah.
Not often, but you get them. And it's like I've never once thought like,
no, bro.
I'm gonna tell this person that they should off themselves because of how bad my pizza came out. Like,
man,
what?
it's like I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've heard some people say some shitty things to some other servers in the industry as well. But like,
yeah,
that one was one like that. I was actually taken back by.
You're like, shit. I don't think I have the
damn.
confidence to be like, hey, buddy, are you okay up here?
And I'm just like, no, I guess not.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck am I supposed to say to that? Like, I'll go end my life right now. How about that?
Dude, I went up to my manager and I just like handed him my tablet and I was like, I'm gonna bounce. See you around.
I'm done.
He like followed me to the parking lot and he was like, "Hey man, don't quit." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right."
Yeah. That's fair. Damn, bro, that is tough. That's not a good look. That for sure.
Oh no, man! But like all my other tables that were around, because I had a lot of them in that section in that area, and there were people that were just like, those people were unreal.
Yeah.
They were like,
they back you up.
I didn't cook the. Yeah, they did.
They were like,
they did. They
give
even
you
like
those sympathy tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
Sympathy
the
tips.
party of 13. I think they only left me like $7, dude. It was like a fucking $500 bill, and they left me $7.
Bro, that should be illegal, bro. That should be illegal.
Oh man. Yeah.
I do. You know what too? I think we need more restrictions on people that are allowed to leave reviews too. I'm not gonna lie, because that's the thing. That's the skewed part about a review system in general when it comes to like Yelp or anything else.
Yeah.
The majority of the time, if you're a regular ass person, you're never leaving a review. I'm gonna go somewhere and I'm gonna be like, wow, this was so good. You know what the review is? I'm gonna tip my server good, and then I'm gonna tell my friends, and we're gonna come back again.
Absolutely, dude.
Like that's like, and I know that doesn't help businesses. Like reviews help businesses. I understand that. But it's like most of the time you're only leaving a review if it's a negative experience. If it pissed you off so much that you're like, I have to say something about this.
I feel like people that leave reviews too, they're like hardcore about them. Like, you ever look at some people's like Yelp profiles, dude?
Dude,
like,
it's like they take pride. Well, it's like the smallest amount of power that someone could be like that jacked up on, and it's like they have nothing else going for them in their life.
These are also just like regular people too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who are you? Like, let me go to your job. Let me watch how you enter the numbers in. Like, let me just. How long were you in the bathroom? Who did you talk to before you came back to me? Like, what is that, bro? We need that for. I don't know. Some of these people need to get checked sometimes. Yeah. They get too comfortable.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. That's what it's. See, this is the trauma dumping of service industry people. Okay, we talked a little. We got the biggest tip out of the way. I wanted to do that. Oh, one last thing before we swap on the service stuff. What's a pro tip for you, or something you would give to a server that's starting today, or someone who's about to get into the service industry? What's just a piece of advice that you would give them as a veteran, as someone who makes? Because that's the thing too. I know we're like talking about like stuff that's gone bad, but like you do a phenomenal job and you make good money because you do such a good job.
Right.
So if people listen, this guy knows what he's doing. Like,
I feel like a lot of people when they're new and they're in the industry, if they've never done it before, it's kind of like a comfort level to everything, you know. And I feel like a lot of people when they start and they're not really sure how things work, they're always afraid to ask for help from those that do know what they're doing. I feel like one of the biggest things you could do to be successful is always ask for the help because it's going to be there. You know what I mean? Like, you can be a good server or a good bartender on the floor, but there are those days when you're just like flustered and just in the weeds running around. And sometimes people don't know that you need help or you're struggling unless you ask. Or, I mean, I feel like there's no dumb question when it comes to like that type of shit. I mean, starting in the new in the industry, you don't know a lot of stuff about cocktail names or liquor knowledge and
dude, there's tons of shit. There's shit that even I have no idea still. Yeah, dude, you get new stuff all the time. People new specials, things like that. Like there's always stuff changing, or even place to place is so different. So it's like, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Working where we are now, we have like our liquor inventory is massive.
Wild,
and it's bigger than any bar or restaurant that I've ever worked at. And I feel like I'm still learning about new bourbons and scotches and shit, like every day.
It's intimidating. People walk in that are bourbon snobs, and they're intimidated. They're like, shit.
And I'm a manager there. It's like, and I should know this shit. But it's like every day there, it's like I still am just learning more about different stuff in the industry. And
and you can't be afraid to ask, like you said.
Absolutely.
That definitely helps. I definitely agree with that. I think too. I'm trying to think what's some else that's a tangible thing I could give somebody. I think asking for help. Also, like, just show people that you're trying is big. It's almost like I kind of compare it to when you're in driver's ed and you're like, you're with the person. Like when you're driving for real, like you check your rearview mirror, but you're not going like this and exaggerating your head movement, right? You kind of like do that a little bit when you have the person in there in the car.
Right.
And I think it's a similar thing in the service industry where it's like, dude, if you are busting your ass, like sometimes people don't really know what you're doing. So it's like, it's okay to like, just like let people know like, hey, this is what's going on. Like we're going to get it figured out, whatever. Like just let them in on it. Exaggerate it a little bit. People like, they want to see that peek behind the curtain and they're like, oh, Miles is a human. He gets paid based off what I give him.
Yeah.
And then they're more likely. I feel like if they're conscious of it, they're more likely to do it. And there's a way to do it without being like, tip me. You know? Don't do that either. I've worked with people that are weird like that too.
Yeah.
Got some people in the live chat here. That silent drive home is the best. LOL, my brothers and I were so poorly behaved that my dad kicked us out of his own restaurant like for 5 years. Jesus.
Oh, damn,
that's
bro.
tough.
5-year ban.
A party of 20 wanting to split the bill 15 different ways is McKenna's pet peeve.
Bro.
That is tough, especially when they don't say anything till the end.
The worst party I ever took was a party of 25 that wanted their bill split.
All 25 separate?
All 25 separate, dude. They had a reservation at 7. They didn't sit down until 9:30. So I had like water set for them, like waiting. And obviously the ice melted. So the whole table's like covered in just melted water.
Yeah, dude.
They wanted me to reset the entire table. And I was like 19 at the time. So I was real young. And this is actually my first day on the floor ever as a server by myself.
Oh, God.
And these people are just like, they're all standing up screaming at me, and that day is the day I wanted to actually quit the service industry.
Yeah, I don't blame you, dude.
My manager, she was like, no.
Yeah.
She's like, get your ass up there and serve them.
God, dude, it's terrible. It's tough too. People will do this thing. It'll be like a big group, and like one person will be like, oh, I'm gonna buy a round of shots for everybody.
Yeah.
And then like another person will be like, oh, let's get another round of shots. You're like, well, is that on your tab or the first guy's tab? And then someone else will be like, let's get a couple more apps. Like, we're still hungry. And you're like, who's
paying for this?
It's all separate, and I don't know who is who. Like, can we just help people out? I don't know. Don't be weird. If you go to a restaurant, just don't be weird.
Yeah,
that's what I'll say.
Weird. Just be a normal person.
Yeah, just like talk to the server like they're a human.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, it's not that hard. It's free to be nice.
You
remember that, people.
That's what, dude. It's so funny. I don't know if this ever happens to you. Like, so I do this when I go out. When my server comes to my table, I'll be like, dude, how's it go? Like, I'll try to do something like break the ice and be like, let them know like we're chill.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be chill for you.
Yeah.
And like, I'll be like, oh, how's it going with you? Or like they'll like say something about a special. I'll be like, is it good though? Like just something to let them in. Like, I get that you're working hard. Like, you don't have to try with us. Like, just be cool with us and we'll be cool. And sometimes when people do that to me, I get so thrown off by it.
Oh,
like,
dude.
I pause for a moment. I'm like, are we breaking the matrix right now? What is happening?
When I ask the table how they're doing, and then they ask me, I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, thank you.
You're like, shit, am I haven't. No one's asked me that. It's been a while.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It is weird. But so okay, we're kind of pivoting then from service industry. Aside from that, you make all this money serving.
Yeah.
And you spend it on EDM shows.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And festivals.
Traveling to festivals. That's like one of my favorite things to do.
Is travel to festivals. That's what's great. You told me, so it was Odessa was here recently.
Yeah, yep.
And you told me you've seen them how many times?
This year 4.
4 times this year.
4, I would say 4. 3, one time I don't really remember, but but 4 times this year, yeah.
Okay, so traveling to go see a concert in general. Do you prefer going somewhere new to see a show or seeing a show like a touring act when they're in your city? Like, what's better?
I think it kind of depends. I mean, I have like I have venues in the country that I really, really like. I like going to. I like the city of Minneapolis as a whole. The city's super artsy. It's really clean. Everyone's really chill and cool. But they have this massive venue there called the Armory, and I've traveled there and I've gone.
The Armory.
The Armory, yeah.
Okay.
It's this huge, like, I think it holds like 8,000 people, maybe even more. The place is massive.
God damn.
And they'll have like festivals and shit. And it's cool because the festival they do for New Year's Eve, they'll turn the parking garage underneath the armory, like underground, into more stages, and they'll have like vendors and shit.
Like an underground rave. Shit
Yeah, dude,
going
it's
on?
super cool because you're in a parking garage, so it's like the ceiling is right here, and they'll have lasers that are just like right above your head and shit. It's really cool.
That's dope.
But I mean, I like when shows come to Milwaukee. Milwaukee doesn't really have any major big venues that like most like EDM artists will play at. Like I've seen stuff at the Rave. The Rave is kind of cool. Turner Hall is pretty cool. It's super old though, and if the bass gets a little too loud, the ceiling crumbles. Like some of the ceiling will crumble and fall.
Yeah.
Like when you go in, there's a net above you. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, no, that's scary. With some of the, it's wild. Even with things like the Rave and whatnot, like you see these places and like. I wonder who was the first person to be like, let's start hosting music here. This is just some old ass mansion. And then like you see them like parts of the building fall off on the outside and they're fixing it. And like props to them for fixing it. But like still it's a little scary that like his building is so old.
Like I said, if you're in Turner Hall, if the bass is too loud, you can feel like pieces of the ceiling crumbling and falling down. Yeah, you can see it coming too. It's crazy.
That's great. So what got you into EDM specifically?
I don't know. Well, when I was working at Rock Bottom, actually, one of my really good friends, one of my best friends, actually, when she started working there, she was online one day and she had a notification popped up for like a 4-pack of tickets to Somerset Music Festival, which is they used to have up in Somerset, Wisconsin. It's like 7 hours away from here.
Oh goddamn, north.
And it was like a 4-pack for $100.
Oh
and
damn.
My other friends just happened to also be going to the festival, so she was like, let's do this. So me and her and 2 other friends, we all threw in on it, and we ended up not even camping at the festival. There was a campground across the river that we camped at, and we all put in like an extra $50. So we went like this first music festival that I ever went to, I paid maybe like $75 total to go.
That's pretty good. It's pretty cheap.
Dude, yeah, it was sick. And we went, and like the community was just really fun. I mean, everyone was very like welcoming and really engaging, and I mean, it's just kind of cool to see when you're at like a set, everyone just kind of like dancing cohesively and like doing something that they all like together. It's a really cool vibe to be a part of. Yeah, that's
fair. What's who are the EDM? Who are your people? I guess Odessa. Like?
I do like Odessa. Ganja White Night for sure.
Okay.
They're real wonky sounds. Zed's Dead, I feel like it's a little more mainstream that people would know about. I like a lot of house music. Like Fisher is really fun.
I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I've heard them, but I don't know any of these people off the top of my head. And you've traveled. So I guess tying it back, we were talking. You traveled to see Odessa several times this year, and how it like what is the what are the pros, I guess, of like traveling elsewhere to go see a concert?
I think a lot of it, I mean, even just like the journey of getting there, dude. I mean, like, like I
kind of an excuse to go on a vacation a little bit, right?
Absolutely. And I like flying. I don't mind flying, but I feel like every time we travel to go to these festivals, we usually drive there.
Shit.
And driving there's a lot of fun. It can be a little stressful. I mean,
yeah.
When we drove to Florida, we drove to Florida for 2 years. We drove to Florida 2 years in a row, and each year was a little bit different. I mean, the last year when we went, it was we left kind of later in the day, and we were gonna stop in like Tennessee or something because we had all of our camp gear where like we can stop in the mountains, just like camp somewhere at a campsite.
Hell yeah.
And then like wake up and drive the rest of the way. But my friend, when she was driving, she just like kept driving and then wouldn't stop. She drove 17 hours, and by the time we got to the top of Georgia, it's like the sun was coming up, and she's like, "You have to drive now."
She's like, I had to.
She's like, "I can't do it anymore." And then we get there, and I'm like, "Well, now we're in Florida a day and a half earlier than what we're supposed to be. Like, where are we gonna stay?"
Yeah, like we don't have a hotel room. We don't have a.
So we searched for hours trying to find a hotel, but because everybody was in the area for a festival, it's like all the shit was booked out. So it took us.
Damn, yeah.
It took us a while to be able to find a place. We ended up finding like a really nice motel, anyways. But
yeah.
We woke up early the next day, and we were like one of like the first 100 people to even be loaded into the festival. So it's kind of cool.
That's kind of dope.
Because we actually had a really good spot that year. This year we drove there. We got into Florida, and then our car broke down.
Shit.
So we were kind of just like,
what kind of car?
it's like my buddy's stepdad's like Ford Explorer. It's like I think it's
buddy's stepdad's Ford Explorer.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple of people removed.
Yeah. So
damn, ripped the Ford Explorer.
He drove us down there. We all kind of like took turns driving. We stopped in Atlanta to like eat because we were meeting up with our friends who were also going.
Okay.
And then we were gonna kind of like caravan in and just follow each other. But somehow in the Atlanta traffic, me and the other car that we were following got separated. And then they kind of just like took off.
Yeah.
And they were, when I like was looking at their location, we're like an hour ahead of where we were, like way already outside of Atlanta.
Oh shit.
And I was like, don't worry about it. Like we'll just meet at a Walmart or something like close by, and then we'll just like follow each other in.
Yeah.
And we had like just got across the Florida border, and it's night out. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. We're going on the highway like 85. Yeah. And then the car starts chugging, and the battery light came on. And I looked at my friend, and I'm like, hey, man, it's like, why is it doing that?
Yeah, I don't speak this language.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what this means. And I was like, I'm going to pull over. And then he was like, I think it's the alternator. So he's like turning off all like lights and shit, like unplugging everything. And the light went off, so we started driving again. And it starts chugging again. And I was like, look, we're like 7 miles to like the next gas station.
Yeah.
And we finally get to this gas station. We pull in. And I look, and I'm like, bro, the gas station's closed. It's, like, not even open. We're in the middle
Dude, how is that always what happens when your car breaks down and you stop at a gas station?
And we're, like, in the middle of nowhere, Florida. Like, the nearest city is, like...
Florida's a different world, too.
And,
that's a different place, bro.
We're in the middle of nowhere, Florida, just, like, on the side of the road. Like, just in this... And then as soon as we get there, the car just shut off completely and wouldn't turn back on.
What was it?
Dude, his alternator just like took a tank, dude, and just stuck there.
That's fucked, bro.
And so we're trying to call like an Uber to like get to a near town so we can like sleep at a hotel.
Yeah.
And my buddy ended up stays with the car to get to take it to a different town to go get it to a mechanic so they can fix it. The whole ordeal, yeah. Wow. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and we're trying to like call tow trucks, and like no tow trucks are open. There's no mechanics open at that time of night.
Yeah.
And he ended up like getting it figured out anyways. But
shit.
Yeah, he stayed there. We went to go like get us a hotel room somewhere, and we walked in. He was gonna pay for it with his business card, but he never sent us with the business card.
Shit.
So when we got to the hotel, we were like, is it cool if we just like wait in the lobby until he gets here? And the lady's like, there's a Waffle House across the street.
She's like, fuck no.
I was like, man, I can't even buy this hotel room right now. You think I'm gonna go spend money at Waffle House?
Yeah.
And she's like, the coffee cups are $2 and they're refillable. I'm like,
shit, dude, she was not taking...
No, she was not playing around. So me and my buddy, we went and sat in the Waffle House parking lot and passed back and forth a handle of Tito's. Chased it with Pedialyte.
Shit, dude. That's a night. That's a vibe. Did you guys make it to the festival?
Oh, yeah, we did. The next day we woke up and we had to check out of our hotel that we ended up finally getting.
Yeah.
And my buddy still had to go back by the car to like get the car fixed because it was late, and he just dropped it off at a mechanic. So me and my other buddy just had the whole day to just walk around this little ass Florida town, dude. We spent like 7 hours.
What town was it? You remember?
I don't even remember the name, dude. It was like, it started with an A. It was like one of like the Florida tribes, like the Native American tribes, like areas or something. But it was interesting for sure. Me and Skylar, my buddy, we sat at this bar there where the bartender was the server, the bartender, the cook. She was like cleaning everything.
Did everything.
Yeah.
All in
she
one.
She was kind of a badass though. She was pretty cool. She fed me and Skylar for free.
Oh shit, dude.
She just came out. Yeah, she was cool. We were sitting on her patio. She came out and was like, if you boys spray out my garbage can, like I'll cook you guys some burgers for free. We're like, sure.
That's a deal. I'll do that.
And she like bought us a couple of rounds, so it was like chill.
Damn, bro, that's fine.
But yeah, I mean that's like kind of some of the stuff that like traveling the festivals, like shit like that. Like, you never
get weird adventures like that. Yeah. You probably meet interesting people, I'm sure, at EDM festivals. What's a because there are stereotypes about EDM people.
Oh yeah.
About rave girls, rave guys.
Yeah.
What are those as someone who, for you, how could I know, I guess, if someone isn't at a festival, how could I figure out that there's somebody that probably goes to raves or goes to EDM?
I feel like it's hard because I mean even being at a lot of festivals, like I know a lot of people that are like doctors, even, you know what I mean, people that have like really high corporate jobs that you would never expect to.
They gotta let loose though.
They
gotta go crazy, bro.
I mean, even like the other day there was these like dude, like these construction workers at our job.
Yeah.
And they started talking about Odessa.
Oh yeah, I remember those guys. Yeah. I was like, no fucking way.
Just, like, they just doesn't like, it doesn't seem like anybody that would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the people that I know in the community or that I've become friends with are people that I've met at like the events and stuff. And,
yeah.
I mean, and I didn't even know what the music was or like what electronic music was before I even went to my first festival. It was just the first time I've ever even like listened to that kind of.
Yeah.
And back then it was like, it was such an odd sound to listen to, you know.
It was a little more niche.
Yeah. And I mean, the longer I was in it, the more I just kind of like fell in love with the sound. And I mean, it's cool because being like a music guy myself, I just think it's such a cool concept to see people up there on the decks just like going hard.
You're going insane sometimes, bro. Yeah.
I mean, even like Shaquille O'Neal is out here DJing.
Bro,
right
he
now.
out here in the summer times. Yeah, it's crazy. He takes his summers and just DJs.
Yeah. I mean, and I've seen him live a couple of times. I just saw him at Bonnaroo,
No
and at
fucking
Electric
way.
Forest.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious, dude.
And he puts on a show. He actually was here at the rave last year.
I know.
This past year in January.
I know. Yeah.
That show was kind of nuts. He played for like 45 minutes and then like ran off of the stage.
Shit, dude. Had to catch a flight.
Yeah, probably.
That's nuts, man. Yeah. What's a misconception then about EDM shows or EDM goers?
Misconception. I feel like one of the big things, and I feel like it's such a touchy topic for like people in the community, is like everyone thinks that like drug use is like super glorified, you know what I mean? And it's not like really like that. I mean, there are some people that you come across that it really is like that. But
that's life.
For a lot of the people, I mean, like it's about the music and the culture, and like I said, it's so cool to be a part of such a big family of people that just like to go to this shit, and it's very loving. I mean, even sometimes I'll be at a festival and I'll just be dehydrated from the heat sitting on the ground, and
festivals are crazy like that.
Yeah, dude, it's like you put your body through some shit, dude.
Yeah, dude, like you don't eat, you don't drink water, and you're just fucking in the heat, dude.
I'll get there and I'll go like buy a chicken tender, and I'm like, this is my nutrients for the weekend.
the whole weekend, bro. You're like, I paid $20 for these 3 chicken tenders.
I have a rule though, man. Like I try to eat at least one hot meal a day. Like I'll ball out, and like at a festival, I don't care. I'll ball out for food, man. And going for so long, like you get to learn different vendors that actually have good food, and then some are kind of ass that like you try it, you're like, nah, I'm not gonna do that again. No.
Yeah. Do you go pretty hard with the fits with your festival
sometimes.
Fits?
I always end up losing pieces of it though. I mean, I used to have this really cool like visor thing with like the lens is like this cool dripping mask thing.
Yeah.
And I went to Electric Forest last year, and I was like, I think it was Grizz. I was at his set. And me and my buddy Brad, and we're just going too hard. I don't know if they flew off my face, but at the end of the set, they were gone.
Dude, I should have had you beforehand. We should have sent me all your rave fits, and we could have done a tier list of your fits for all your EDM shows. Yeah, that'd be crazy. I
definitely had some top ones that I was like, yeah, that looked good.
You're like, yeah, this shit fire, bro. That is a good feeling about going to shows. I have some friends that like have never been to any concert.
Oh wow.
Of any kind, of any genre, crazy. And I was like, dude, like that sucks,
live
man.
music, man. It's just. Music gets the people moving, and it's fun, dude.
Dude, you get it. There's nothing. I don't know. There's nothing like, you know. You're like, oh man, I got this fresh fit that I'm gonna wear. I'm gonna wear for this concert, and I'm gonna look good. I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna see someone I'm a big fan of. Even if you're not a fan of a friend's just like, oh, come see this person. You end up being a fan of them, because most people. I feel like if you're going to see them live, I haven't seen many bad shows live.
Oh yeah.
Personally, at least the people I've seen. I guess in that vein, then what's a bad EDM set look like? What would something weak at a festival? Maybe it's not even an actual person, just like a random DJ comes up and.
I feel like I feel like it takes a lot for it to be like a bad set. You know, I mean, I've gone to go see people that I've never heard of just to check them out, and maybe they're just like not really playing a style of that music that I really enjoy.
Is there a way to be lazy in EDM?
Yeah, for sure. There's okay. So for me, I would say specifically for a bad set, there's one guy in the industry. I'm not gonna name his name because he's pretty big, but I feel like a lot of his sets that he has are really gimmicky. You know what I mean? And it's like I like to see people up on the decks like doing shit like live mixing. You know, and you can tell that they're like queuing up songs and they're like beat matching and doing all this like shit while they're up there, but this guy is like hooked on like chords like floating above the decks, like doing like the weird shit. And I'm just like,
he's flying around.
Yeah,
he's not
like,
touching it.
Bro, like, why aren't you like doing the shit?
Why aren't you pushing the buttons, bro? Yeah, that's interesting. I've noticed that too. I was talking about that with my friend last week a little bit because I saw Drake recently, and I was like, him and 21 Savage performed together, and it was awesome. Drake was amazing. He's a terrific performer. He goes super hard. And I'm not saying 21 Savage isn't a great performer, but like it was comparatively like how much energy Drake was putting in versus like 21, and not just 21. There's tons of other rappers I've seen live where it's like sometimes they come out and it's like the effort's a little lower, and I'm like, man, like I'm here to celebrate you, like. Just fucking go as hard as I'm going, you know?
Yeah, dude, hell yeah.
And so I don't know. I appreciate when artists do that in general, when they're just like getting hyped on the stuff that they made.
I think one of the best sets I've ever seen. I went to Bonnaroo this year, and me and my friend we made it a point because we wanted to see Lil Nas. We're like, we have to see Lil Nas. Like we just know he's gonna go hard, and he did, dude. Like his
shit looks like he goes hard.
His stage presence is like so huge, and he's so interactive with the crowd, and it's like it's such a fun, cool feeling to be a part of it and just to like see it happen.
And he got some slappers, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we even saw Kendrick Lamar this year.
Shit, bro.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar, and it's cool because his set started at 11, and then at midnight it was his birthday. Dude. And Bonnaroo was doing polls to see like how many people were in the crowd there, and the majority of the festival goers were at his set. Wow. So at midnight, the whole crowd got to sing happy birthday to him, and that's just something that I got to be a part of that I'll just think about forever. Cool. You know, like that's such a cool thing.
How much did it ticket to Bonnaroo this last year?
Dude, I think I paid like $540.
Jesus Christ, dude! How many days is it?
4, but I think we loaded in on Wednesday, so we were there for 5 days. But
okay.
Damn. The festival is huge. Dude.
Yeah,
the place is fucking massive, and I mean, I've been to like really small, intimate festivals, and I've been to really massive festivals. That one was big. Everything was really spread out, like far.
Yeah, no, that sounds cool. I've always wanted to go. It's always sounded interesting.
Yeah.
What's the best live show you've ever been to?
Oh man.
Any genre.
Best live show I've ever been to.
One that sticks out. What was the first one that flashed in your mind when I said that?
Probably, okay, last year I took a manically one day. These Ganja White Night, I mentioned them earlier. They did a show in West Virginia. And
West Virginia.
Was it in West Virginia? Yeah, West Virginia. And I bought tickets to go, and me and a couple of my other friends, they were going to buy tickets also, but last minute they were like, we're not going to do it. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
At the time, my GM at my job that I was working at had like just got fired, and I just started as a manager there, and they were like, we kind of need you to stay and work this like morning of this Friday at least, but that Friday is when I was going to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I can do it, but I have to be able to leave right at this time to be able to make it. So I went to work that day. The other manager came in at night, was like, why are you still here? He's like, leave right now.
Shit.
So I left. I went right to the airport, caught the plane, went there. I ended up missing like a couple of the openers, but I landed in West Virginia.
That's nuts, bro.
Checked into my Airbnb, got ready, and then went to the it was at the Coliseum, and the Coliseum is this massive music venue.
Yeah, I've heard of the Coliseum. So cool. Yeah.
And
holy cow,
the first night of the show was just like super fun.
Yeah.
So like that, it was like a weekend thing. So it was 2 days.
Okay, at least you got the second day.
Yeah. So the 2 days were really cool. They did a pool party on like the roof of this like high rise thing, where they only sold like a limited amount of tickets. But I was one of the people that got the tickets.
Shit.
So I thought the venue was a lot closer to where my Airbnb was. So like I'm gonna walk, and I'm walking, and it's like 45 minutes down the line. I'm like, how fucking close is this? It didn't seem close at all. No.
Yeah.
But when I looked, it was like right around the corner finally. So I ended up just going. But I get to the top of the roof, and I'm there for maybe like 20 minutes, and it starts like torrential downpouring. Jeez. And like lightning and thunder. So they had to like shut the pool party down. So they just like kicked like 300 ravers out, and we're all just like walking around the streets.
Where does that energy go, man? We need to get rid of this somehow.
And like 1,000 miles away from home, I ended up running into my friend Jimmy, just randomly at this bar.
Jimmy's out here,
Jimmy
bro.
was out here, dude.
Jimmy was fucking out here.
I asked him if he was at the pool party, and he was like, yeah. I'm like, let's go back and kick it. And they finally reopened it, so we got to go back. So
hell yeah.
That whole weekend, I think that string of like 3 shows is probably one of the best shows for sure that I've seen.
Dude, and it makes sense too with the way you're describing it when it goes to like comes to traveling to shows, and like just the experiences you've described definitely make those shows stand out even more. Like everything around the show, you know, that makes a lot of sense. That's got to be fun. What's one song in your opinion? Maybe it's a popular song, could be any genre, that you think needs a EDM remix, a club remix that doesn't have one.
I want to hear like a heavy like a dubstep remix of Goldie by A$AP Rocky. I think that would be sick. Like with like some fat like bass on it.
Have it go crazy hard. Yeah, that would be badass. That would be badass, man. Well, dude, we've done over an hour here now.
Wow,
we just crushed the hour mark, I believe. Is there anything? What did we not get to today? Is there anything we didn't get to today that we needed to talk about? We talked about a little bit about traveling concerts, EDM people, your morning routine. That was funny. Maria goes, "You got to ask him about his morning routine." I was like, "Does he have like a specific?" She's like, "No, I just want to know. I'm just curious."
It's funny. Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, I'll ask him."
My morning routine. I mean, like I get up, you know, and I give myself enough time. I give myself a half hour because that's kind of all I need to get ready. I just get up. Give myself a half hour.
I'm shower, envious of that.
I'm out, and then I kind of just like sit and wait.
Yeah.
I have this big bay window in my apartment building, so like if I make myself some like avocado toast in the morning, I'll spend like 5 minutes in the window, like looking out, watching the traffic.
You just sit there, you just exhale.
Yeah, just disassociate a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's nice. It's peaceful. It's peaceful. Do you I saw you Ubered to work the other day. Do you usually Uber?
Yeah.
So you don't have a car right now?
No, not right now.
Dude, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I had a car, but I got hit by a drunk driver last year. Totaled my car. Yeah.
You were okay though?
Oh yeah.
Shit,
yeah,
dude.
Mildly concussed, but
okay.
They hit me in my head, bounced off the window, and then the steering wheel. And I was coming down the street, and they were coming out of an alley. This massive truck just came and just hit me and pushed me right across the street to the other side into a light post. Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah,
bro.
Crazy. I came to, and they were like driving off.
Shit, you get some money?
No.
You didn't get no money for this?
No, bro.
Fuck,
they
are
never
we
even
doing,
found the
man?
guy.
They never found him? They didn't run? Oh my god, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, if he's listening to this, or she, anybody, they're listening. We're coming for them.
Yeah, bro.
We will find
if I ever see that truck around.
We will find you. We'll poison your food. Nah, dude. That's tough, man. That sucks.
Honestly, though, I mean, I don't mind, especially now in the summertime.
I was gonna say in the city, dude.
Is everything in Milwaukee is so walkable. It's
dude,
so close.
I just saw an article too saying something about Milwaukee is like amongst like the top cities right now in like foot traffic pre or post pandemic.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
To get closest back to like what it was prior to the pandemic.
Right.
Because a lot of cities there's so much less foot traffic now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Milwaukee, there's a lot of people walking around. Always.
Yeah, I mean, people like aren't from here and working in the industry, they ask us like where shit is and if it's far. Yeah. And I'm like, nothing's ever really far in Milwaukee. I feel like if everything in the downtown area is so easily accessible and just walkable, you just walk there.
Walkable, or if you need an Uber for 2 minutes. Then
I mean, there's like electric scooters everywhere.
The scooters, bro, those be crazy.
Like rental bikes that you can rent.
You ever race those scooters?
Yeah. Dude, they get some get up on them,
some of them get up to like
fast,
20 miles an hour, bro. That's dangerous, man.
Especially if you're going like downhill, like it's over, dude.
I get scared going on the bridges though.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Be freaking me out sometimes. I'll be fucking myself up. I drop my phone sometimes. It scares me. Anything? So you have any questions for me then before we wrap up today, man?
No, I don't think
anything.
So,
wait,
man.
any hot topics or hot takes you got to drop to the world before we wrap? This is your first podcast.
This is my first podcast.
We gotta leave them with a bang. What's something that you got to get off your chest that you're like, I know people are gonna hate me for this, but I gotta say it anyway.
Oh man, I don't even know. I don't think I ever have anything controversial to say. I was talking about it with Keegan before I got here. I was like, I'm such a chill, laid back dude. You know what I mean? Really, and it's like, I don't like to stir the pot if the pot doesn't need to be stirred.
That's fair. Okay, let's do this. We'll end on this. What's something that you hope happens in the next year? Could be for you, could be for anything.
I hope that I actually like find something that I like doing more than what I'm doing now. You know, like I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, but I feel like I've been doing it a long time. I'm getting a little bored, you know? Yeah. And I feel over the next year, I'm going to try to do a lot more things, or not a lot more things, but I'm going to try other job opportunities and just exploring anything else.
Push yourself
even just
a little.
even just like new environment, you know. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've been thinking about this year and a lot of things that I like want to start putting into motion.
Hell yeah.
And I feel like I've started doing that, and it's just like working towards it now and getting that.
I feel that. That's cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, a year from now, you know, when you get the flashback, the Snapchat flashbacks or whatever of you doing the pod today, we'll have to check in and see where you're at.
Hell yeah, man.
But no, I appreciate you being on, man, making the time to come
Thanks
out
for
here.
having me, dude.
Of course, bro. Of course. It was good getting to chat with you and trauma dump a little bit about the service industry.
Yeah.
It's just you have to get it out somewhere, you know, so other people get it. I want to say a quick shout out and thank you to people that tuned in live tonight, as well as those that are going to be listening and watching days after over on Spotify or YouTube. Quick shout out to our patrons as well. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you guys are interested in getting behind the scenes access to extra podcasts, extra videos, as well as a series where I break down how I make every single one of my songs, go to patreon.com/Darren Rita and you can help support the channel for as little as $1. Also, shout out to Go Nuts for sponsoring another episode of the show. And this has been the 216th episode of the Dtalks podcast. I will see you guys next week.